Hello and welcome to the FilmPulse.net podcast. This is episode number 87. My name is Adam. With me today we have Kevin. How are you, Kevin?
I'm okay.
And we also have Ernie joining us. Ernie, how are you?
I'm doing better than Kevin.
All right, well today we have a great show lined up. We'll be talking about Alfonso Cuaron's Gravity in our feature review. But first we'll be going over some of what we've been watching, and then later we'll be going over this week's movie predictions, new on video on demand, and DVD and Blu-ray releases. First up, let's talk about some of what we've been watching. Kevin, since you were gone last week, let's start with you.
I'll jump right into it. The first film I saw was Neighboring Sounds, which is a Brazilian film from 2012. Unfortunately, I thought it was from 2013. It's not. It's from 2012. So this is from, and I've never pronounced a Brazilian name in my life outside of Deco and Ramirez, so here we go. Kleber Mendeja Filho?
Sure.
Wow.
Something along those lines. Something like that. This is an interesting film, mostly because it's a Brazilian film that doesn't deal with a favela, which was nice to see. It actually deals with a middle-class neighborhood, but at the same time, a lot of class issues are sort of bubble up from the surface, and there's a lot of paranoia and just a lot of tension, really. This is a solid film. I was quite surprised, being a debut narrative film. A lot of great dolly work on like the side streets of the Brazilian neighborhood that they all live in. And just, it's one of those type of deals where it's probably 3 or 4 characters and it just jumps from one story to the other. And there's a lot going on, and it plays out beautifully. Now it does drag here and there occasionally. I mean, it is over 2 hours long. I think it's like 2 hours, 15 minutes. So it could definitely have some footage be cut out of it, make it a lot better. But outside of that, it's a fairly solid debut, I have to say. And the only thing is, going into it, everything that I heard was the sound design. The sound design is amazing. It adds to the tension, adds to the paranoia, this and that. And I was extremely underwhelmed by the sound design. I thought it was meh at best. But there is a number of very creepy sequences that just pop up out of nowhere, really, which played into it really well because they really caught you off guard. I mean, there's really no horror aspects or violent aspects to the film at all, and then every once in a blue moon, something would just pop up to catch you off guard, and it's sort of like a jump scare, where a jump scare actually worked for the first time ever, outside of someone ringing my doorbell. Continuity.
God.
The second film I watched was Jia Zhangku film, which is a film called 24 City, which this is a documentary, and I say that with air quotes because it's what he does is he does a reenactment of a documentary. So the majority of the film is just, straightforward talking head documentary, but where the real life people are discussing their lives working in a factory that's being shut down and demolished to make way for a apartment complex. He has actors stand in for them, but they play it like the real people. It's very interesting. Sort of think Bernie, but immensely better.
I was thinking active killing almost, but not that intense, I would imagine.
Yeah, not that intense. Not at all. I mean, these people aren't killing anyone. I mean, they're making airplanes that probably killed people, but they themselves didn't kill anyone. Maybe they did. I don't know. They really don't get into that. Some secrets might be kept hidden. But this is like one of the best documentaries I've ever seen. Just the way that they show the people, just everyday people, hardworking people, blue collar type people, just the way that they show and let them tell their stories, even though that it's told through actors. everything is captured within the actors recounting their stories, and just the way everything is handled. It's very humane the way that they do it, which is an odd word to use, but very tender at the same time. I wish more documentaries existed like this.
And this is the same director that did Still Life, right?
Yes, and the reason I watched this is because he has a new film coming out called A Touch of Sin, which looks absolutely amazing. And I am officially now going to see every single film he's ever made through the
Cool.
strength of Still Life and 24 City.
Cool.
Doing it. The next film that I watched is I was hoping to watch this for my viewing Gravity, but unfortunately I got to see it after I watched Gravity, which is a good thing. Spoiler alert. I saw Children of Men.
Oh, I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
First time?
yeah. I have never seen an Alfonso Cuaron film, I don't think.
Really?
Quick check.
Did you see Y Tu Mama Tambien?
No, didn't see it.
Not
Oh.
even Prisoner of Azkaban?
Never seen Harry Potter.
Well,
Wow.
I haven't
Well,
seen any of those.
I did see, I guess I saw a segment in the Paris film. That
Oh.
counts. I don't even know what the hell.
I don't even know which one he did in that one.
Yeah, I don't know which one he did. So I saw Children of Men, and wow, this was
Yep.
pretty fucking good. I have to say, this was quite good. The cinematography, first and foremost, is what captured me. I mean, the single takes. Well, I say that again with air quotes because they blended everything together.
Mhm.
But just the camera work in the ambush sequence was amazing.
Yep.
And the ending, holy shit, the ending, my God, right there. I mean, you have to watch this film just for the end. You have to.
Yeah.
And you're telling me that's a CGI baby? I didn't know that was a CGI baby.
I don't think I knew that.
That's pretty fucking good work right there.
Well, I love Children of Men. I mean, it's
Yeah.
inching its way up to a 10 out of 10 for me.
I still think it's my favorite Cuaron movie out of all of them.
I'm still
Oh yeah, well me too.
I'm still on the outskirts there. I'm thinking like 4.5. Well, I'm sorry, 8, 9. I get messed up with the letterbox thing. I'm not up
Pretty
to a
sure I gave
10.
that
You
I'm
gotta
pretty
give
sure I
it
gave that
time.
a 10 out of 10. Yeah, I think I gave it a 10 out of 10 on initial viewing because that ending just blew me away. So.
Yeah, that ending is, oh my God, the way that they do that is just unbelievable.
It's a movie that gets better with time too. Like if you go back like a year from now or something and watch it again, you're just like, wow.
Plus the very last scene where they're on the fog,
Mm-hmm.
just oh my God, on the water.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Yep. It's a brilliant movie.
Yeah, definitely check that out. And I do love, and this is spoiler, so just spoiler. I'll say it again, spoiler. I love the fact that they're walking out with the baby, and everyone's like, "Oh shit, a baby! This is unbelievable!" And then they just go right back to killing each other.
Yeah.
It's so fucking realistic. I love it.
Yep.
Absolutely loved it. Because I mean, they're only cute for so long. They can only keep you from killing each other for so long. It's fantastic. I love that. I wish I had more to say, but I mean, the story I thought was pretty good, but the cinematography is the real draw here, for me at least. The story's interesting enough, but the cinematography is just outstanding. It's amazing. The performances are serviceable. And then I saw Ain't Them Body Saints, and I don't know if they are, but it was a solid film for me. Again, the cinematography was pretty good, and me and Adam were talking about this off air. They're definitely trying to be Malick, which is, and I love Bradford Young, and I think his work works a lot better with Andrew Desunmu and his films with the vibrant colors and everything. And in this context, it just comes off as extremely a Malick ripoff. Really, I mean, it's just tan and amber everywhere, wheat fields, Andrew Wyeth paintings constantly. It's a bit much. It's still solid cinematography, but stop being Malick. Really, just stop. Get over it. Let's try something else. Let's innovate something. outside of voiceovers and
It's probably more Malik than Malik was in To the Wonders.
yeah, exactly. It's and I didn't know this, but Adam's telling me that the what did you say the opening is?
The opening of Ain't Them Body Saints is very similar to Badlands.
Yeah,
Have you
that's
have you seen Badlands, Ernie?
Yeah, yeah, I have.
Wouldn't you say that just plot wise, it's very similar with the voiceover and just the whole Bonnie and Clyde aspect?
Very much. And all we needed was the prairie fields
Mm-hmm.
and a lone solitary house standing on a hill, and then we'd be set.
Yeah.
exactly. And I mean, we pretty much had that, and I, all the performances are great, but also Casey Affleck, you've done it 3 times now. Just say no the next time someone comes to you being the quiet fucking southerner. That goddamn role that you keep playing. You did it in The Killer Inside Me. You did it in The Assassination of Jesse James. Now you did it in Ain't Them Body Saints. You can do it. I believe you.
Yeah.
You can do it. I've seen it three
Well,
times.
I think he's doing it in Out of the Furnace, so I think he's breaking from that mold. So now he's just shouting and fighting.
Yeah.
Fucking stop, Casey Affleck. Just give up. Knock it off. Ben Foster does a great job. Skinny Pete does a great job. Keith Carradine, he does a pretty solid job. Rooney Mara does a solid job. Everyone does a solid job. It's a pretty compelling story, I would guess. I was enthralled the entire time, I would say.
Mhm.
But
And then-
at the same time, it's slightly disappointed. I thought it was going to be amazing.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna blow my mind, but
But
I actually wasn't that enthralled by the story at all.
No, it came off like I saw it before. I've seen this before.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I've seen Casey Affleck play this character how many fucking times? Is this a sequel to the assassination? Is this Robert Ford's story? Like afterwards? It's just maybe. And then the only other thing I saw was Gravity, which I can't fucking wait to talk about.
Okay. Well, I had a pretty decent week. I started off with Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs too. I actually saw this last Sunday, but it was after we were recording, so I didn't get a chance to talk about it. Big disappointment with this movie. I actually hated it. I fell asleep at the end. It was only for like a minute. I think I dozed off for like a minute at the climax, but I cared so little about what was going on that I was just like, you know what? I don't even need to bother. It was extremely disappointing. Like,
Were the best parts in the trailer?
well, but see, I didn't even like the trailer. The only reason I saw it is because I really liked the first one. Like, I was a big fan of the first one. I thought it was hilarious. But, yeah, with this one, it's different writers, different directors. All the voice cast is the same, but the jokes are just completely different. I mean, it's all just puns. It's all food puns, and none of it works. It's just not funny at all. Like, the story's not very interesting. The animation looks pretty much the exact same. Like, there's no real improvements in the animation. And I guess, I mean, I didn't expect giant leaps because I think the last one came out in like 2009 or something. But it was still just very, just typical. And also, and this isn't the movie's fault at all, but there was some kind of weird issue going on in the theater that I was seeing it in where I could only go see it in 3D just because of what time it was and everything. So I had to go see it in 3D, and there was some kind of weird thing going on with the 3D where it was like shuddering almost the entire movie. So
Did you
That's
have a
worst.
seizure? Did you
I
have
felt
a
I
seizure?
felt like I was going to. Maybe that's what put me to sleep. I don't know. But
You didn't go to sleep. You
Your brain,
passed
your
out.
brain shut down. You can't see
Yeah.
this.
my eyes were being forced closed because it was my body's reaction to the shudder. But so yeah, I can't recommend that. In fact, I was very surprised that it got as high of a score as it did on Rotten Tomatoes. It has like a 59%, and to me, that's way too high. I gave it a 2 out of 5 on Letterboxd, and I think that was generous, just because there were like maybe 1 or 2 laughs in there.
I do remember you asking me to see this.
No.
If I could, and it was just an automatic, no, it's not gonna happen.
No, it was
Sorry.
there was I gave you a choice between two movies, and I knew that you weren't going to see this, but either way, skip that. Then I saw Crystal Lake Memories: The Complete History of Friday the 13th.
Finally saw it.
Yeah, finally got to see this. Loved it. I mean, if you're a fan of the Friday the 13th series, this is the ultimate documentary. I wish that this team would come out with documentaries for every single like franchise, like Alien. I would love to see them do like an Alien one or something. But I know they did the Nightmare on Elm Street one as well. But
Right.
I want them to keep making these because for film buffs, these are the most comprehensive, detailed. I mean, it's like 7+ hours, and it goes through everything. And I know we talked about it last week when you saw it, Ernie.
Right.
But definitely check this out. It is a must see if you're into this series.
Are we gonna say comeback for Corey Feldman?
You know, he doesn't do a bad
Yeah.
job.
Yeah.
There's a little
scripted lines.
there's a little like intro and outro bit that they do that does not work at all. I thought it was horrible. But
I still like the fact of how it ties it all together. It's like, oh, he's Tommy Jarvis again. I'm like,
yeah, but it was pretty. I thought it was pretty lame.
but
There's
it was
7
pretty,
hours
it was
in between,
it was
so it's
cheesily
alright.
acted. So
Yeah, there was 7 hours in between, so it didn't matter to me. But I thought that Feldman's narration was fine. Like he did a fine job.
So he's a decent reader.
Yeah, it was like
That's what you're
listening.
saying.
It was like listening to Donatello from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles narrate a documentary about Jason.
righteous.
I want to see it now just because of that.
Yeah, you should definitely check it out.
God.
But I was like
That's
you
amazing.
mentioned last week, I was surprised that they even got into the TV show and stuff. I mean, and there was a lot of stuff that I didn't know about that they get into. Like the big thing was, you know, this Blu-ray set came out recently that has all of the Friday the 13th. And the reason I didn't buy it was because there were no director's cuts, no extended cuts or anything. And then I find out by watching this documentary that all the negatives have been destroyed for all the older
Right.
ones. So there will never be director's cuts. So I'll probably go pick it up because of that. So definitely check that out. If you're into the movies, obviously. If you're not a fan, it's gonna be a long 7 hours.
You might even learn some stuff for filmmaking. So who knows? So
Yeah, I mean they get into a lot of how just stories about the production and stuff, and that was interesting. But then I saw a movie called Spider Baby from 1968.
I'm in. You don't need to say any more. I'm in.
You should check it out.
This sounds amazing.
Because October is upon us, I will probably be watching almost nothing but horror movies this month. So I started it off with this little movie directed by Jack Hill, and it's sort of a cult classic, I would say. This is one that I never got around to seeing, so I decided to watch it. It's pretty ridiculous. It's billed as a horror comedy, but it's not really scary or funny at all. But it is kind of
So they fail on all fronts.
it is kind of interesting. It's one of the last movies that Lon Chaney was in. He's the guy that was the original Wolfman, and also very early role with by Sid Haig, who is Captain Spaulding in the Rob Zombie movies. And it was decent. It was kind of a campy horror movie. It was shot in black and white, so it looked kind of... It actually looked a lot older than 1968, but I know that they were done shooting it in 64, but it just took them a really long time to get it out. So it looks quite old, but basically it's about a family of inbred children that have this weird disease that makes them act younger than they actually are. And they're kind of like feral children, but they're actually adults.
Fantastic.
And one of them is obsessed with spiders. Like she pretends to be a spider, and she makes this net out of rope. And when people come over to the house, she throws the net on them, and then she, quote, stings them. And to sting them, she takes 2 knives and repeatedly stabs them until they're dead. So,
Awesome.
yeah. I mean, if you like Jack Hill's stuff, if you know the kind of movies that Jack Hill makes, it's probably worth seeing. I mean, he's one of these B-movie exploitation guys. He did Coffee and Foxy Brown, and he did some really big exploitation stuff. So, it's maybe a light recommend.
Yes.
And then I saw Leviathan, the documentary, not the
Not the Peter Weller.
not the Peter
Monster
Weller
movie.
one. No,
What?
the documentary.
Are you
It's,
kidding me?
the,
Not from the father of the guy that directed Beyond the Black Rainbow?
No,
Nope.
not that one.
I still like that one though, but
I have never seen that one. Did you saw the new Leviathan, didn't you, Ernie?
yeah, that was actually got to see it in the theater when it played in L.A. for a brief moment. But,
I like this a lot.
Yeah, I dislike both of you.
I was I was really impressed by this movie, and it's a documentary, but it's also kind of an experimental film in a way too, where if you're not familiar with it, they just take a bunch of GoPros. I think that they used GoPros.
Yes.
And just throw them everywhere on this fishing boat and see what happens. And I got to say, some of the shots that they get are mind-blowing. Like the one where they put the GoPro in the tank where they gut the fish.
mm-hmm.
I was just like, oh my God, it was crazy. And
and the fish heads are still breathing, and they're just bumping
yeah.
up against the camera. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, and there's just like blood everywhere, and it was a gross movie, but at the same time, it was really fascinating. And I'll tell you, it's amazing what you can get out of a GoPro camera. Like, I think if GoPro, they should endorse this movie and be like, look, this is what you can do with these cameras, because it was pretty incredible.
Yeah, I think my favorite shots were the disorienting ones where the cameras were clearly knocked off their mounts and they're just hanging upside down.
Yeah,
And they just present the footage upside down. You're like, what am I looking at? The birds are on the bottom. We're upside down.
That was incredible. There's a scene at towards the end. There's a scene where the camera is upside down and it's going in and out of the water. And when it goes in the water, it looks like it's actually out of the water, but you see like stingrays swimming everywhere.
Yes. Oh,
and
God, can't wait to see this.
And when it goes out of the water, it looks like all the birds are underneath. It's so cool. But
I love it.
I will say that it's definitely not a movie for general audiences. I think that a lot of people may find it to be kind of dry because it is very matter of fact. I mean, it's literally these guys doing their job.
I never watched, what's that fishing show? That's Deadliest Catch. I never watched that. I'd rather watch Leviathan than watch Deadliest Catch.
So,
this is directed by like professors. They're not filmmakers. They're not filmmakers at all. They're just professors.
Was there a moment where one of the crew was watching TV and he was watching a reality show and he was just falling asleep during it?
Yeah, there's like a 5-minute scene where the camera is positioned on this guy who's in like their break room and he's watching. I think it's Deadliest Catch because you can hear him talking about it's a fishing show, and they just show him falling asleep at the table, and it's like 5 minutes straight, just a static shot on this guy falling asleep. But there's a lot of shots like that. Like there's another one where it's wherever the camera is placed, it's like right in this guy's face, and it's so close to his face for like 3 minutes, and there's like nothing going on. It's just his face. But it was still incredibly fascinating, and I highly recommend checking this out.
Now, I can't remember. Is this put out by like the actual university where these people teach? No, it's not.
No.
Okay.
But yeah, Leviathan, check it out. And then I also saw Captain Phillips, sticking with my nautical weekend.
Oh, nice segue.
Yeah. So Captain Phillips, this came out in a sneak preview this weekend, and Ernie, you saw it too, so that's why I kind of saved it for last. So we can kind of go right into what your thoughts were. I actually like this quite a bit. I don't know if we're going to be doing like a feature review next week on the site or on the show. We may. So I will say that I did enjoy it quite a bit. It was pretty tense, and I don't know. I think that I could probably come up with some nitpicks, but I think that I'll probably save my detailed thoughts till next week. But I will say I recommend checking it out.
Ooh, okay.
Yep, it's worth saying, but for me, it wasn't as white knuckle as, say, United 93 or something like that. But it was still good overall.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I would probably sit around an 8 out of 10. But, yeah. Strong performance by Tom Hanks, but, that's to be expected at this point.
It's Tom Hanks.
Especially towards the end, he really
especially at the end.
Yeah, when it starts getting really emotional and he starts getting emotional, that's when he really just...
And that's when the whole waterworks starts flowing in the theater.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like looking around, I'm seeing tissues coming out, sniveling, and just like...
Yeah, it's a pretty powerful film. All right, what else you got, Ernie?
I revisited Old Boy. I haven't seen it since it first came out, and there was so much I've forgotten about it. And basically, this is just in preparation for the upcoming Spike Lee remake, or reimagining, as they would prefer to be called.
Which you saw the new one, right?
Yeah, I did, but of course
I know you can't talk about it.
But yes, I have seen it. But I still love the original. And looking back and like the stuff that I forgot, I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot those little like the whole post-hypnotic suggestion angle. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of hard to swallow for me now. But overall, it's still enjoyable. And then I was like ready to do a comparison to the remake, but we'll discuss that soon.
I do. I plan on rewatching the original one before I see the new one as well, just because it's been a while since I've seen it, and I just love the original one so much. Just love it so much.
Yeah, yeah. But
there
will be a lot to discuss once it finally comes out. So,
what were you saying, Kevin?
I said that it's one of the reasons I don't want to revisit it. Because I'm afraid that I might not like it as much as I did the first time. And I don't want to sully it. I just want to keep it.
Yeah,
as
the first time I saw it, I was like, that was like amazing. But yeah, like I said, going back to it, there was like I started getting a little nitpicky. I'm like, yeah, I didn't kind of follow that. It's like, okay, that wasn't exactly clear. Like,
yeah, I remember
before revisiting it. Yeah, before revisiting it, the only things I could remember were the corridor fight and the ending. It's like a friend of mine is like, what about the octopus? What octopus? You don't remember the octopus?
I remember the octopus.
No, I don't remember the octopus. Like, and then I rewatched. Oh yeah, the octopus. Okay, no.
No, I think it's. I don't think it's giving too much away, but I thought I saw something in the trailer. Is the octopus in the new one?
There is an allusion to the octopus.
Okay.
That's about all I'll say.
Okay.
Yeah, so I still enjoy the movie, but it wasn't as good as I remembered it. It's still an awesome film, but just didn't hold up on second viewing.
That makes
which
me
still doesn't
not
mean
want to revisit it.
which still doesn't mean I won't watch it again. I still will, but maybe in another 10 years or something. I don't know. I guess keeping with the revenge thing, I saw Abel Ferrara's Miss 45. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that.
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it though.
It's a deaf mute. No, wait, sorry. I don't think she's deaf. A shy mute is raped twice in like a 12-hour period.
Wow.
And then she just totally loses her shit and goes around killing people, particularly men who aren't particularly nice. And then she gets progressively worse and just goes on a murdering spree. It's like, oh, she just goes around killing people with a gun that she stole off one of the rapists. And it was like, not as bad as you would think. I mean, it's Abel Ferrara, so you would think it's excessively exploitive, which it is in a way, but it's actually pretty good up until the outrageous way they dispatched the heroine or villain, if you want to call it. I was like, what the hell was that? I was like, I'm like, okay, that was weird, but it wasn't bad for late 80s. This was before Bad Lieutenant.
I think it was early 80s.
Yeah, 81.
And someone mentioned when they were reading up on it that the actress co-wrote Bad Lieutenant. And you're thinking, oh, after seeing the movie, he's like, yeah, I can see that. So she goes to some pretty dark places, and apparently she was a advocate for heroin or something like that. and apparently she died of an overdose or something.
Oh, well.
in reality. So,
there you go.
So so that wasn't bad. And then this was tied into a Chicks with Guns theme night. This is where we were supposed to watch Thriller. They call her One Eye.
Mm-hmm.
And we also saw one called The Man Killers, which was mid 80s, which is just pure B movie cheese. I wouldn't even call it TNA because it's a total lack of T, except one accidental nip slip shot. Everybody's completely got their tops on and maybe butt cheeks. That's about all that's exposed. But basically, it's just an FBI agent who's betrayed is brought back to take down the guy who betrayed her, and she has to bring in a hit squad made up of women.
I just looked this up.
Why women? I don't know. It's just because.
I just looked this up, and it's got the most amazing cover I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's like some Rambo-esque girl with her cleavage hanging out at the bottom, counting a gun.
12 wild women.
Oh my god!
So there's like a scene in the middle of the movie where they're they're supposed to train for shooting, and there's a shooting range, and it looks like a makeshift set that like 12-year-olds would have made. And then you're like thinking, what is this? And then you realize it's supposed to be a mock-up of the actual location they're going to attack. And the buildings look exactly the same. So they use the same setup and stages, and like, wow, this is the villain's camp. I'm like, one good bomb would take care of it all, no problem. But
wow,
yeah, I wouldn't say it's a great movie in any way. I mean, it still was a piece of crap. But for a movie you want to make fun of, like in a mystery science theater kind of way, it's definitely worth checking out in that sense. But yeah, we're like, it's like, is this done yet? And I was like, it's an hour and a half. I'm like, geez, how long has it been? 40 minutes? Oh. It's like, this is going to be a long one. And what else? And then I did see Captain Phillips, as we were talking about. And I did like it. And there was I guess it was a Norwegian film that came out last year called A Hijacking, which was inspired. I think that one was inspired by a true story, whereas opposed Captain Phillips is actually based on a true story. And
yeah, that hijacking one that just came out recently, didn't it? Like here.
I don't know. I remember it was at AFI last year or so.
Because I just saw something about that. Maybe it just came out on DVD or something.
Yeah.
It came out limited in June of this year.
Okay.
So it's not it's not similar, but they both deal with Somalian pirates, but they both tackle it from a different perspective. Whereas hijacking actually deals with the crew as well as the corporation as they're trying to figure out how to get the crew freed. And whereas Captain Phillips is all about them trying to save Phillips. So I wouldn't say they're both about equal. One's not better than the other. Hijacking wasn't as intense as was hoped, as it sounded. Same thing with Captain Phillips, but still both worth checking out. And then the other one was that little thing called Gravity.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and jump into Gravity. This is written and directed by Alfonso Cuaron. It's also co-written by his son, Jonas. And it stars Sandra Bullock, George Clooney, and the voice of Ed Harris. I do have a synopsis here. A medical engineer and an astronaut work together to survive after an accident leaves them adrift in space. Now, Ernie, you have the review up on the site. So I think what we're going to do is start with Kevin, because I noticed that this movie has a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes, which immediately made me think, Kevin's going to fucking hate this movie.
Dude. Number one, how the fuck is it 98%? Are you kidding me? This is, without a doubt, the most ridiculous story I've seen in ages. It's just one bullshit thing after another. The script is terrible. The dialogue is terrible. The plot developments are terrible. Everything's fucking terrible outside of the fact that it looks pretty. It's just bullshit. One after another. I'm just completely astounded that there hasn't been the backlash that I was expecting. I've seen nothing really outside of a few reviews here and there, but no one has been tearing into this film like I saw people tear into Dark Knight Rises or Man of Steel or any of the other fucking films where they'll suspend disbelief for the existence of superheroes, but when it comes to the script, they nitpick it like fucking geniuses. And then you come into a movie like Gravity, and they're like, "Oh no, it was good. I liked it. It was awesome." Are you kidding me? It's
How would
serious.
you how would you have felt if the whole movie was done without a script? I mean, just basically played out as is without any dialogue.
Uh, Getting rid of the dialogue would have helped a lot. Because the dialogue was absolutely terrible. But a lot of the plot developments, or the things that they, no, there's just a lot of things that I want to get into that are spoiler. But the way that they develop this story is just, I can only suspend disbelief for so long until I just start cracking up and laughing my ass off. And that's what this film did to me. It was like Alfonso was testing me. He's just like, how much can he take? Is he still with us? And then there just came a point where I was like, no, I'm fucking done. I waved the white flag and I was like, nope, can't do it. This is hilarious.
Well, I'll tell you what I thought about it, and I've cooled on it a little bit since seeing it. I just saw it yesterday, so I've cooled on it a little bit since then, but I still think it was great. I completely disagree. No, I don't completely disagree. I take that back. I think that there were some serious issues with the dialogue, and I think that most people can agree that there were some things that happened, especially towards the end, that were pretty ridiculous as far as the cheese factor goes.
And I just want to say, real quick, that's the whole fucking movie.
I didn't think it was. I didn't
That's
think
the
it was.
whole movie.
Well, there was very little dialogue at the beginning. I mean, it didn't really pick up until after the initial accident happened and all that.
I understand that, but I mean, is the film about Sandra Bullock fixing a panel in a space station? No, the story's about everything that comes after that, and everything after that is terrible.
I disagree. I think I thought that it achieved what it was setting out to do, which was to create a tense science fiction thriller that, I mean, I was in awe of the visuals, and I did see it at the IMAX in 3D, and also the sound design I thought was crazy, like just the small just the small things, like when she's removing like when she's using why am I forgetting the not rivets, but you know what I'm talking about, like the drill, the screwdriver.
It's like the
bolts?
Socket wrench type deal.
Yeah, like the socket wrench. I think there's an actual term for that, but
Yeah, I don't know.
but like just like how everything sounds muffled, almost as if you're underwater or something like that, and
Yeah.
just the little details of that, and just it was a culmination of a lot of small things that made me just. I thought that there were scenes where my jaw was like actually dropped, and that doesn't happen to me very often in movies, but I can forgive the poor dialogue. Like, and as far as the story goes, what I think you're complaining about is a lot of the kind of luck that she has.
No, I'm talking about every single thing that happens.
Well, I mean, there was
everything that happens after the accident. Everything. Just
without
one
it, there would have
after
been
another.
much of a movie.
Yeah, I mean,
It would have been Space
Yes,
Camp.
and I would have been happy with that because I wish I did not see this film.
a piece of debris just hits her and shatters her helmet, and then that's it. Credits.
With like a 10-minute short film, that would have been great.
I thought that I liked the story quite a bit.
But I do want to add to what you said. I mean, it looks gorgeous. You can't deny that. The effects that went into this are just outstanding. And the sound design, I would agree with you there. The sound design was absolutely amazing. I did thoroughly enjoy that. Now, everything outside of that, hate it.
Yeah, I just don't see it. I had a lot of fun with this movie. I thought it was really suspenseful, and I was, somewhat on the edge of my seat for most of it, wondering what's going to happen next. And yeah, I thought that there were certainly some eye-rolling moments in it, but at the same time, it's like this is what this movie is designed to do. I mean, it's if nothing worked out for her, it would be a very short movie that
Well, no.
would be somewhat anticlimactic.
Oh, and I knew going in that she was. I knew how it was going to play out. I knew it was going to happen, but I was there for the journey, and the journey is preposterous and absurd and laughable. It's terrible.
There was an article.
It's just lazy script writing. It's terrible.
There was an article that came out from NASA that said that this was the most technically sound space film ever created.
Really?
Yeah, which I thought was interesting.
Do astronauts use fire extinguishers constantly?
Well, I mean, if
you would think they'd have to have them up there.
Yeah.
If they had a fire.
But, I mean, do they use those to travel through space?
Well, I think that that scene in particular. I mean, it seems like it would work. I mean, what else if that's what you're
I
gonna
was
do?
straight. There was a interview with an astronaut. He was literally saying I could pluck the hair from my head, straighten it out, and push the hair on something, and that would push me away. That's all the force you need to move in 0G.
It's interesting. Keeping with the 0G effects, I really liked how the fire looked, because I don't know if I've ever seen that kind of effect in a movie before, where it's like fire in zero gravity. I thought that was really interesting.
That was nice.
Like, I would like to know how they did a lot of those 0G effects, because some of it looked incredible. Like, I mean, I guess it was mostly wire work, but some of it, you're just like, how the hell did they do that? Like the one scene when Sandra Bullock first gets into one of the things and she takes, I'm trying to gloss over the details, but she takes off her suit and she kind of goes into the fetal position. She's just kind of floating there. Like I really liked how that all looked. Thought that
it
was
clearly
really
looks
nice.
like she's clearly on a set, not in a CGI environment. So.
Yeah, it was. I thought that what they did with the effects were pretty crazy. I don't know if
I would guess like a clear platform, and she was actually laying down.
Yeah, maybe.
Would be my guess.
I don't know. I mean, they might have used one of those planes, what they did with Apollo 13, where they take them up in the plane and then drop them.
They actually tried to do that, but they're saying for the length that Cuaron's trying to go with his takes, they said that would be like infeasible to do.
Oh, really? So they didn't?
Yeah.
They didn't do the plane thing?
Yeah, they were going to try, but said, nah, we can't do it this way.
Damn it.
Well, and that's the other thing regarding the story. I think about this story, and then I look at something that actually happened, like Apollo 13, and it doesn't seem as far-fetched to me. And maybe we should get into some spoilers about this real quick, because I feel like we're getting kind of close to that territory. Maybe before we get into spoilers, Ernie, you can just give your general thoughts, and then we can jump in.
Overall, I thought it was a beautifully looking film. For me, it wasn't kind of like the same way I felt about Captain Phillips. It wasn't white knuckle tension like I felt like in '93. But for me, it's like I enjoyed the spectacle of it, but I just wasn't as drawn into the tension of it. So, but I still thought it was a really good movie.
Okay. Well, let's get into some spoilers, and your thoughts in detail are on the site, so you can go ahead and go to the site, read his review in full. Let's get into some spoilers on Gravity. So if you haven't seen the film yet, please fast forward here. We'll have the time codes and the show notes and all that fun stuff. So, Kevin, let's get back to you, because I know you're anxious to vent. Let's talk about
I'm not essentially not anxious to vent. I've moved past this film. I'm done. But like I said, the fire extinguisher scene was just the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. All I could think of was Harlan Williams farting through space. That's all I thought. That's all I could think of. It was.
Maybe a fart can move you in outer space.
Yeah,
it's just that you'd have to expose yourself to the elements, though. That's a problem.
Just that entire sequence was just. I was on the outskirts of losing it beforehand, but that's what did it. That's what just put the nail in the coffin. I was done. I mean, the first one that was before that is, she's breathing CO2 and she's climbing around a space station like it's fucking nothing. She's just doing it like she's been climbing space stations all her fucking life. She does it like every Tuesday. She's just climbing space stations in space,
Well,
breathing CO2.
no, but they said that there was some oxygen left in her like
They
actual suit.
said, yeah, they
Yeah.
said that like 10 minutes before she actually landed on the space station. She was breathing CO2
Well, I
when
don't.
she was climbing around.
I think if she's breathing pure CO2, she'd pass out.
Thank you very much, but that's what happened in the film.
I don't think there had.
Yes, no, it did.
There
It
had
did.
to be
Go back,
some
go
oxygen.
Back, no,
Yeah,
go back
yeah.
and watch it, dude. Go back and watch it.
No, I know he says you're breathing CO2,
Yeah.
but there had to be some oxygen left
he
in
said no. He said like 10 minutes before that. He said that oh, there's still some oxygen in your suit, and then 10 minutes later, she's climbing around on the thing, like she's been doing her entire life. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, from
Um,
that point on, when he says that you got like oxygen in your suit, but the alarm, the CO2 alarm, doesn't go off until like a little bit later. So
She's still. Give me a break. Come on.
I'm just saying.
We're not astronauts though, so we don't know.
Dude, and
Maybe she was holding her breath in a deleted scene or something.
there you go. Maybe.
Oh, that could be an editing thing too. You know, maybe what they meant to do was have that scene be shorter from the time where he says you're breathing CO2 to the time that she climbs in. Maybe it was supposed to be a shorter amount of time in between there or something.
Maybe. I mean, she seemed really far away from the hatch to get into the space station, and she just, boom, jumped right through it. She's just climbing, jumping around. She's not passing out at all. She's just fucking wrecking shit on the space station, breathing CO2 like it was any other day. But that's not even the biggest thing for me. Biggest thing for me is when she gets into the Chinese escape pod, and
Okay,
she just
well-
starts fucking mashing buttons. Are you fucking kidding me? She jumps in. She's like, "Oh, turn on. There we go. We're done."
Well, I think that
Got
there
it,
was
booted it up.
I think there was some educated guessing going on there because
What?
they did mention that
point.
she
Yeah,
was
she-
using the simulators.
Mm-hmm.
So
Was she
They're all
using the
designed-
Chinese simulators? She's
well,
just
they
pressing buttons.
mentioned
I
that
think
she.
they probably mentioned that they're all similarly designed or something.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, that
You-
actually, yeah, that's a good point. He
You
did
just, but
say,
you can't read them.
yeah, George Clooney said that the Chinese one is the same as the Russian one. That's what he said. He's like, oh, the Chinese one's the same thing as the Russian one.
Yeah, I think she mentions
Right.
like I never flown that. He's like, oh well, that's probably what it was.
The
just-
the escape
just figures it out.
pod is the same as the Russian one.
Just figures it out. Just hits a button and makes a warning noise, and she's like, "Oh shit, that sounds bad. Turn it off." Really? Like, I mean, you want me to invest in that?
Well,
That's what you want me to invest my time into.
I guess they wanted the
Like,
audience.
that's your script.
I guess they wanted the audience to feel that there was a little bit more tension there because she didn't know exactly what she was doing. I mean, because if you think about it, let's say she got in the escape pod and she didn't know how to use it at all, and she hits a button and the thing explodes. Movie over. Like, that's one outcome. The other outcome
Yeah.
is that she knows how to use it immediately, in which case everybody'd be like, well, how the hell does she just know how to jump into this thing and use it right off the bat? So, like, it was a tricky situation. I'm not saying that maybe they didn't write themselves into a corner with that.
Exactly. Don't write yourself into a corner like that.
Well, they did almost write themselves into a corner and were skirting the cheese level with the Yoda-like appearance
Well,
of Clooney.
Okay.
Oh my god! And then you got that, and then you have her dropping the fact that she lost her 4-year-old daughter, and I'm supposed to connect to that.
Right,
You
yeah.
just drop
That
out
was-
of fucking nowhere.
I had big issues with those two things, and then plus the dog barking scene.
Oh my god! Dude, yeah, the more I talk about this, what did I give it? 3 stars on Letterboxd. This is coming down to like a 1.5. This is a fucking travesty. This is a joke. This is a joke of a film.
The dog barking scene, I definitely could have done without, and the
And plus one, I can't remember. Is she doing the Russian escape pod or the Chinese escape pod? Where she just like automatically goes into this Russell Crowe beautiful mind type deal, and she just starts hitting buttons. She's got it all figured out, and she's
I think she was
just
in the
talking.
Chinese one.
Yeah, she's talking about, oh, Bat, if you see my daughter, tell her. Da, 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 da. I'm just like, give me a fucking break. This is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous.
yeah, I wasn't too the dialogue I did have an issue with. I thought that was
Did
pretty
you-
pretty
did you-
Hollywood.
Did you Did you love the line of "I hate space"? I
Yeah,
hate
I mean,
space.
that was fine. It
I hate
was,
space.
Yeah.
It's a fucking Roland Emmerich movie. Kidding me?
I think I have read something about it being compared to a Roland. Oh, maybe it was your letterbox review, actually. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. Because I didn't read any other reviews, so it had to be yours. I read yours and
Yes.
Ernie's.
Yes, it was. It was mine. So how old's his son that he co-wrote this with? Is he 8?
I don't
Like
know how
9 years
old he
old?
is.
I hope he's
I
not
think
a
it's like
full-grown adult. Please don't tell
he's
me
got to
that.
be at least in his 20s or something. I
Oh,
think.
that's disappointing. Alfonso has to be disappointed.
Yeah, his son was born in 81, so
Shit, he's older than me?
yeah.
Holy fuck. Jonas. Come on now.
I mean, I had a feeling you weren't gonna like it. It just,
I mean, I was into it. I'll give it to you. I was completely into it, but it just kept stacking the shit on top of each other, and it came to a point where it's like, no, I'm sorry, I can't, I can't be a part of this anymore.
it seems
Count
like
me out.
it seems like it was just too Hollywood for you. Is that a safe statement?
But no, because I was okay with that. There was a point where I was like, okay, this is just a Hollywood action survival disaster film. That's what I'm looking at here. I'm in. And then just the writing that went into that afterwards, I was like, okay, so it's a Hollywood action disaster survival film that's terribly written. I want no part of this.
Okay. So let's talk about the ending. We're still in spoilers. What did you guys think of the ending?
Of the final shot, or of the,
Just
or just like the last
maybe
5 minutes.
just the concept of her getting back and safe and laying on the beach and rubbing her face in the sand and all that.
Yeah, and basically just seeing Sandra Bullock standing like the Attack of the 50-Foot Woman.
That was
I'm
kind
not
of a
gonna
funny shot.
Just the angle looking up at
Yeah.
her, looking up to the sky, like, geez, she's big.
That was kind of a
Uh,
weird shot.
Has anybody ever brought up the size of Sandra Bullock's thighs?
I don't know.
I mean,
They seem
on the
powerful.
IMAX screen,
Powerful.
on the IMAX screen, they're epic. They're like, geez, those are like freaking tree trunks.
Well, yeah,
Those
it was kind
are
of
powerful thoughts.
yeah, it was kind of funny because she gets back on Earth and she can't walk or she has a hard time because her muscles are all atrophied from being in space.
Yeah.
And I'm just the whole time looking at her legs and like she can't get up with those legs. You kidding me? Looks like she's ready to like do jump hurdles.
Run
You
triathlon or
lose
something.
you lose bone density and everything.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Well, what did you think of the ending? Typical Hollywood ending, Kevin?
Well, no, like I said earlier, I knew that was going to happen. I know she's going to survive. I knew that. And the ending, I didn't really have a problem with. I thought the ending was quite nice, the way that they shot it and everything. And, you know, you know the outcome before you even go see
Yeah.
the movie. You
I
know
wonder
what's
if
gonna
they.
happen.
I wonder if they actually shot it like an ambiguous kind of ending where you're not sure if she actually lived or not.
Something
Like
tells
maybe
me
when she comes out that she's actually in nowhere.
something tells me that they probably didn't with this. Like, I don't know. It just seems too like big studio film for them to do that.
It'd be like the Sixth Sense moment for Gravity or something.
Yeah.
I would also like to see like the realistic ending because remember she put no trajectory into her re-entering Earth, so the odds of her hitting the ocean, like they should have just seen her hitting like Utah, like in the salt flats.
Or she ends up like in the middle of Death Valley and then she just dies in the desert.
Or if I don't know if you guys read about this lake in like Africa where it like turns living organisms into stone.
Oh,
wait,
that's
that would
right.
have been
Yeah,
that would have been perfect. Her character's name is
That would-
Ryan Stone, and she lands in the lake
And she-
turns into stone.
Yeah, she's doing her
That would have been
epic
amazing.
she's doing her epic stand and then she just turns into a statue.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been great.
Cut to 10 years later, and so there's like a small field trip.
It's like a plaque. They put a plaque there.
Kowalski's kid
Yeah.
is seeing the statue of Rhinestone.
Well, I'm surprised. Actually, I'm kind of surprised that they wouldn't show like any family type stuff and go there with it and just sap it up even more.
No, I mean, to me, I think it.
Yeah, I was expecting
Did it?
flashback scenes and stuff like that, but
Am I the only one that saw this whole evolution thing going on?
I didn't really pick up on any of that, but I wasn't looking either.
You weren't picking up on the oh so subtle close-ups of Buddha and other religious
I mean,
relics throughout the
yeah,
entire film?
yeah. I mean, I saw all that stuff, but I didn't. I didn't feel like it was. I had to look into it. I didn't really care to look into it, but I wouldn't surprise me if all that was there.
Yeah.
And like I knew that George Clooney was not real. Like he wasn't
Well, yeah, because
really there and
she would have
stuff.
died instantly.
And,
yeah.
well, not only that, but when the author Bret Easton Ellis saw this, he spoiled it on Twitter.
Oh, what a dick.
Yeah, like
That guy's always been a dick.
yeah, he spoiled it on Twitter like right away.
Do people still like him?
He's losing a lot of friends, I'll tell you that.
It's almost like that's a mission for him for like the last 3 years is to get everyone to not like him anymore.
Yeah,
And
I think
he's
so.
doing a wonderful job.
I think so, yeah. So, all right, any other spoiler type stuff that you guys want to say about Gravity?
I loved the scene where they show was it Sharif? I can't remember the guy's name.
The other guy.
The other
guy-
astronaut. Yeah,
other
where
guy
it
who
showed
bought it?
the debris went clean through his face.
Yeah,
That was pretty creepy.
that was kind
That
of
was
crazy.
well done.
There's
That was well
there's actually a lot of horror elements to the film that I kind of didn't expect. Like there were certain
Oh, like when they were going into the cockpit. Yeah.
there were like certain things that they showed, not just the dead bodies, but there were other things that
The lighting to it, too,
Yeah.
was amazing.
yeah, like there were a lot of other kind of like really horrifying things about it too. As beautiful as a lot of the scenery was, we were always reminded like, hey, you know what? This is space. You're in space. You shouldn't be here and you're probably going to die.
Oh,
That doesn't happen in Star Trek.
yeah.
the only other thing that I mean, again, it looks beautiful. The effects work is unbelievable, but I do think that they went a bit over the top when they showed the Aurora Borealis.
Yeah.
Like, I just imagine them like looking at that and posting. They were like, "Can we make that any more beautiful?" And there's guys like, "Well, we could put like the Aurora Borealis like on the right hand side there. Is that cool?" Yeah, do that. Just ratchet up a notch.
Yeah, I mean it was, but I take it you didn't see it in 3D, Kevin?
No, I didn't. Did I miss out on the socket wrench floating out at me? And I'm like, oh,
Oh,
socket
but
wrench, grab it.
that's
or even the
not.
part where
I'm just
where
no,
Clooney
no.
is reaching out for the bolt and it's like
Well, that was
Yeah,
that was a big scene. But I mean that stuff was not really why you should see it in.
yeah.
No, I
3D.
know. I hate when I'm watching a film and I know, what scenes are for 3D.
Now-
Like I'm just sitting there watching it going, okay, that's a 3D scene. They just added that for 3D. I don't like that. That bothers me.
Well, yeah, that usually bothers me too. But since I saw it in 3D, I didn't care. Ernie, do you know if they actually shot this in 3D or is it post converted?
Yeah, this was shot for 3D.
Yeah, because
shot
it
in 3D.
looks amazing in 3D. I mean, these days I hardly ever see movies in 3D, but this one I was like, okay, I got to see this in the IMAX in 3D, and I'll tell you, I was very glad that I did that because I really think that certain movies really benefit from that. Like, I think that you can actually like a movie more with how it's presented. And with this movie, seeing it on the big screen in the IMAX with the, booming sound and just how clear everything was as far as the sound and how it's in that crazy, like stereo, IMAX stereo where you can hear things off to the side in the back. And then just all the 3D stuff with the helmets and just the helmets and stuff like that when they would switch the camera inside the helmet looked amazing.
To the POV.
Yeah, all that stuff looked incredible. So if you're gonna see it, I would say go see it in 3D. But let's go ahead and get out of the spoiler section. So we are back. Final thoughts on Gravity. Ernie, you gave it an 8.5 out of 10. I am also gonna give it an 8.5 out of 10. Yesterday I was like sitting at a 9 right when I came out of the theater, but like I said, I kind of cooled on it a little bit. I'd like to give it like an 8.6. if I could. And Kevin, you're giving it a 1.5.
I'm so confused. I'm so confused. Like from what I heard from both of you,
I thought it was great.
I don't hear a convincing argument. I thought it was great. Isn't it enough for me? Like what? How?
Okay.
How was it great?
You look at the things that you hated. The story.
Okay.
You thought that the story was ridiculous and none of that worked for you, but it did work for me. I wasn't bothered by the events that took place. Like all the stuff involving her and the things that she did to get home. None of that bothered me. Like I wasn't sitting there like, come on. Like that there were eye-rolling moments for me, but that was all dialogue, and there were only like maybe 3 that I can think of where I was just like, ugh, ridiculous. But for the rest of the movie, I really enjoyed myself. I was extremely entertained by it. I thought that visually it looked amazing. Every scene I was like blown away by how it looked. The extremely long takes that they did, I love that in any movie. And again, the sound was great too. The score was also quite good.
I mean, my main qualm was the fact that it wasn't as intense as I thought it was going to be the first time I saw the trailers for it. But I still overall was able to enjoy it, even though it wasn't as suspenseful as for most people it was. But
yeah,
it was like,
I thought
it was cool.
I thought it was very suspenseful. So, I mean, I wasn't... I'm trying to think of a movie that I was like more suspense over. And I know that there have been a few recently where I was just like on the edge of my seat the whole time. But I can't... Maybe The Raid... I think I remember feeling
probably
pretty tense during The Raid. There might have been a couple other ones that I saw.
Or moments during The Dark Knight, or
maybe. Either way, I still thought that this one was pretty.
I keep bringing up United '93, and even though those were events everybody witnessed, but the way Greengrass made the movie, it was like incredibly intense from beginning to end. So.
Yeah, and Captain Phillips was very intense too, but I thought that this was more tense than that one, but so is that good enough? Is that a good enough reason for you, Kevin, or
that works a little bit.
A little bit.
It works a little bit. I'm still completely surprised that you're okay with the story here.
It didn't bother me. It didn't bother me at all.
I don't know how it doesn't. I honestly, I'm just surprised that it doesn't bother you.
Expecting a space spectacle, not 2001 or something like that. So.
Yeah, I mean,
it's definitely a spectacle. Like I said, it's a Roland Emmerich film. It's just a bit better. It's a bit better. It's a bit better. I'll give them that. No, I will not say that it's anything slightly above Roland Emmerich.
I mean, you gotta say it's above Roland Emmerich just on the.
I said slightly. It's slightly above.
Slightly above.
I'll give them that. It's slightly above, but it's still just really terrible, honestly.
I don't see it. Like I think that it's just a matter of me being okay with the events of the story and you not. I think that that's pretty much what it boils down to.
Well, I mean, I also think that it's gorgeous and it has great sound design. I didn't like the score as much as you did. I found the score slightly annoying, but I did like the sound effects and everything. The images themselves, yes, it looks beautiful, but at the same time, I mean, they should. It's 2013. It should look pretty fucking great. It's still not that much better than 2001.
Yeah, but I mean, right.
And that was how long ago?
Yeah, but I mean, you can say that about any movie. I mean, going back to when we were talking about Malick, you could say that Badlands looks as good as Ain't Them Body Saints, you know? Like,
yeah, but Ain't Them Body Saints wasn't written by an 8-year-old.
Yeah, but still, regardless of who wrote it, I mean, Gravity looks good because it's got good cinematography, and it's got.
It's not the cinematography.
Well,
it's the special effects crew.
Well,
it's not the cinematography.
I don't know about that. I think
it's
that
not.
No.
Okay, I'll give them.
Well, Avatar had to have a cinematographer, and that was a fully rendered environment.
So. Right, exactly. That's a good example. You compare Gravity to Avatar, and Avatar doesn't look anywhere close to being as good as this cinematography wise, camera work. Like, I can't even remember the cinematography in Avatar. But in this, you remember the camera shots. You remember like this, how the camera kind of floats around and the sweeping long takes and that type of thing. And that's all cinematography. And I do agree that the special effects department play a huge part. I mean, I would say almost on equal terms as the cinematographer, but I think that, it's both of them are important.
What you're looking at here is the cinematographer Avatar both of them provide a canvas for the special effects crew.
I would say
now in Avatar, they give them a non-primed canvas, and in Gravity, it's a fully primed, almost like cloth canvas that they have a lot to work with. But in Avatar, I can give it to you that the cinematography is definitely there's some good stuff there.
Well,
but again, most of it is the special effects crew adding the touches afterwards that make it so great.
Yeah, I mean, but with Avatar, I don't remember the cinematography in Avatar. I don't remember specific camera shots or specific things about that movie that made it look great. I remember the visual effects, like I remember all that stuff, but to me, when I talk about movies and I say, man, cinematography was great, the basis for that is if after I'm done watching the movie and I'm like a day or more removed from it and I can remember specific things, like specific elements about that movie that, like for instance, Children of Men, the ambush scene when they're in the car, like that is a scene that I will never forget because of the amazing cinematography. And I'm not, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that it's better or even on the same level in Gravity because it's not that good, as good as that. But I think that it was still quite good. And I mean, that's really the big thing that everybody's talking about with this movie too.
Mm-hmm. I also have to say, because I touched on it earlier, is I'm really glad that I didn't see Children of Men before this. I would have been extremely disappointed if I saw Children of Men before I saw that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any contest that Children of Men is better. Like, I don't know if there's many people that would say that Gravity's better. You wouldn't say that Gravity's better, would you, Ernie?
Nope.
Yeah, I don't think that there's many people that would say that, but for me, I wanted to watch Children of Men before going to see Gravity, and I didn't, and I'm kind of glad I didn't, because I know if I went to see Children of Men right before Gravity, it probably would have been a bigger letdown.
Side note, the cinematographer for Avatar has a new movie out too. He did the cinematography for Runner. Just a heads up as to where his career has gone.
Actually,
that movie looks awesome.
Yeah, well, let's.
I mean, visually stunning.
Let's actually use that as a segue, and let's talk about some predictions. Do you guys want to add anything? Any closing thoughts about Gravity?
Yeah, Roland Emmerich is pissed. He's been wanting to make this film for fucking years, dude.
Well,
see
it in IMAX 3D before the next IMAX 3D movie moves in. So
yeah, that's what I say too.
Yeah, I would agree with that. You have to see this in theaters.
Yeah.
There's no other way to see this.
Yeah, absolutely, guaranteed. Guarantee you, I will see this movie again when it comes out on Blu-ray, and I won't like it as much. I can almost guarantee you that.
Yes,
but that's how a lot of these movies work. Let's talk about some predictions. So last week we predicted Gravity. I said 93. You said 87, Ernie. The actual's 98.
Yeah, a little off.
Yeah. It's still 98 is surprising.
Yeah.
You're telling me.
Kevin's just his mind is blown.
I can't believe it. I seriously can't. I'm so surprised.
We have Runner. I said 40. Ernie, you said 35. Actual 8.
This is funny because as soon as I said that about the cinematographer, I went to Rotten Tomatoes and I just see 8% right off the bat. Oh, I love it.
And then finally we said ACOD. I said 62. You said 50. Actual 53. So I thought that was getting a lot of positive buzz, but apparently not. I'm still kind of interested in seeing it. It looks pretty funny. Next week we have Captain Phillips. This is the one with Tom Hanks that we mentioned earlier. I guess I'm gonna say like 87 on that. Kevin, what are you saying on Captain Phillips?
I'm gonna say 79.
And Ernie, what do you think about Captain Phillips?
Kevin was too close to where I was going, so I'll go 82.
All right.
I do that a
Right on.
lot.
And then we have Machete Kills. We'll start with you, Ernie. What do you think about Machete Kills?
I'll go 60.
Kevin, what are you thinking?
Machete Kills. I'm gonna say like a 32.
I think that it's gonna be pretty bad as far as like critics. I'm gonna
Is this actually Robert Rodriguez like doing this one?
Yeah, he directed it and wrote
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Okay.
So he is involved. I'm gonna say like 35. I don't know. And I think that's all we have for wide release. There is that Romeo and Juliet remake or
Thank
reboot or
God.
adaptation or whatever you want to call it. I don't know if that's getting a wide release though. So that's coming out.
It's about time.
Also in select cities we have All the Boys Love Mandy Lane.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
Did we
keep
did we happen to time travel?
we keep
did we
talking
time
about
travel?
this one, but it keeps coming back. So that's finally getting a theatrical release after 18 years. Then we have CBGB, which we
I heard
talked.
that's quite good.
Yeah, we talked about that a few weeks ago. That's terrible. Haunt, which I don't know too much about. Escape from Tomorrow, which we'll have a review for that up on the site by the time you listen to this. And Zero Charisma, which I definitely want to see this week. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. New on video on demand this week, we have Ghost Team 1. Have you seen anything about this one?
No, I have not.
It looks, actually, from the trailer, it seems like it's kind of funny. It looks like a cross between Paranormal Activity and Project X.
Okay. That sounds terrible.
It's like a found footage
Terrible.
horror movie that's like a
Terrible.
comedy.
Terrible.
But the funny thing was, like, there were a couple little throwaway lines of dialogue in there that made me laugh. So
and they're all in the trailer. Just a heads up.
probably, yeah.
Just a heads up.
I'm gonna give it a shot just for the hell of it.
Yeah, I know you would.
We also have Forgetting the Girl. This is a horror movie that we're actually going to be covering next week, and I think we might be getting an interview lined up with the director. We also have
I won't say anything then.
we also have Escape from Tomorrow. Well, it's not a found footage horror film, so there's that.
It does have Christopher Denham in it.
Yeah.
I enjoy him.
We also have Escape from Tomorrow, which I'm pretty excited about. And by the time you hear this, we'll probably have a review up for that on the site. And then finally, Casadega. I think that's how you say it, which is also a horror film. I guess we are getting into the Halloween months.
Yeah.
So.
And you knew that there was going to come a time where video on demand was going to be nothing but horror films.
Yeah.
Just
I'm
like
okay.
6 every week.
I'm okay with that as long as they're not all found footage. Because
I'm going to say like 60%, yes.
I honestly don't know if I can handle any more found footage. DVD and Blu-ray releases, we have After Earth. I know you're excited about that one.
Immensely.
One that I'm excited for, and I am not ashamed of it, is the Chucky collection. This is all 6 Child's Play films, including the newest one that actually comes out this Tuesday on DVD and Blu-ray. So they have all of them, which is interesting because before they weren't allowed to release a full collection because I think that the second 2 were different distributors or something, different studios. So I guess they worked something out where they can get them all together, which I'm very glad to see that that's happening now in horror collections. So.
All right.
I'm actually somewhat excited for that. We also have Europa Report, which I recommend checking that one out. I think you can see that on demand now as well.
I think so. I think that's actually Play Instant.
Really?
If I recall.
Well, then, yeah, definitely check that one out. I was pretty into that one. Hangover Part 3. Well, we also interviewed the director, so check that out too.
Hangover
Hangover.
Part 3, avoid like the plague.
Yeah, Hangover Part 3 was not too good. Extreme disappointment. So if you are waiting to see that, just just let it go.
Yeah, move on.
And then we have Much Ado About Nothing, which is the Joss Whedon adaptation.
I'm excited for this. I missed it when it came into theaters and stuff, but I'm actually pretty excited to see this.
I like the fact that it was one of these deals where he just calls up a bunch of his friends and says, "Hey, let's just do this in my backyard." And it
Yeah,
was
you want to bang out like a Shakespeare film real
yeah.
quick, black and white, just real quick.
And it's like literally shot in his backyard.
Yeah,
I think I'll be checking it out.
I can't wait.
We have The Purge.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely skip that one.
Mm-hmm.
Big disappointment. And finally, Resolution, which is actually one of my favorite horror movies of the year. If
That
you want,
that is also playing instantly.
Oh,
As
is
of
it?
right now? Yeah,
Cool.
Because I keep seeing it popping up on Netflix, and I love the cover for it.
Yeah, it's a great cover. I highly recommend checking out Resolution. I think for mainstream audiences, they probably won't like it, but if you're really into horror movies, and if you're really a film person,
I have
there's
to
a lot
say
to-
that reading the synopsis, it seemed pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's why I liked it, because it's different. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not your typical horror movie at all. I mean, it doesn't even take a horror turn until near the end of the movie. So it's
Oh, I like when that happens.
yeah. It's
I'm
basic.
gonna be checking that one out.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically about two friends, one who has a drug problem, and the other friend decides to get him cleaned up by handcuffing him to a radiator and leaving him in the woods, in a cabin in the woods.
It usually works.
Yeah.
Usually works. One other film that you forgot to mention, which I don't know how many people are excited for this, but Lawrence Anyways, which is a film that I'm immensely interested in by Xavier Dolan, is coming out this week. And then the only other one, which would be a Criterion, is I Married a Witch from 1942. Renee
I saw
Claire.
that. Saw
Renee
that listed.
Claire. Yeah, I've only seen one Renee Claire, and that was his first Dada short, which I did enjoy. I Married a Witch. I might get around to it at some point in time. Who knows?
Okay, well,
But other than that, that's a decent week.
Nah,
we're
it's
still,
not.
we're starting to get back. You know, we had how many weeks there where it was just nothing but shit every time we would talk about it.
Yeah, it was really well. There was like that one week where it was almost nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It was like two things that came out, and it was all like really bad.
Yeah, we're easing back into it now. We're easing back into the movies.
All right, well, I think that wraps it up. For all the latest film news and reviews, visit us at filmpulse.net. Send us an email at feedback@filmpulse.net. Follow us on Twitter at filmpulse.net, and be sure to rate us on iTunes. We appreciate that very much. For filmpulse.net, my name's Adam,
And I'm Kevin.
And this is Ernie.
and we will see you on Thursday for Ryan Watches a Movie.
Dude, now
Yeah.
that we're off the air and this isn't legit, you guys actually like Gravity?
Yeah.
Yes, I did. I liked it a lot, actually.